Hey everybody, it's Party Elite. Welcome you to what I think might be the final episode of our IXION playthrough. I mean, let's face it, we've arrived at our final destination, and even though it might not be the destination that the Dulles Corporation had intended, it is where the future of humanity will rest. Romulus will be our home for hopefully millennia to come, if not eons, and with objectives titled things like The Promised Land and The Last Stand, I can't imagine there's too much more to do after they've been taken care of. So, folks, it feels as though after about 36 hours, give or take, our IXION playthrough is coming to an end. And that's actually a pretty good length for a single-player experience. It's probably more actually like 30 hours because, again, playing while recording is a little bit slower, at least in my personal experience. So the single player experience here is probably actually about 30, maybe 28 hours long, which is quite decent, I would say. And I'm really curious to see if the developers have any post-launch plans with regards to additional playthroughs. Like, they've been doing a lot of patching, which is excellent, but for the last couple of episodes, we've been seeing a lot of strange time-related stuff, perhaps alternative dimensions, multiverse kind of stuff. I'm not 100% sure, but there's a lot of questions that, up until now at least, remain unanswered. Like, where did the Galileo come from? What happened there? There's all kinds of weird stuff going on, and I just wonder if those weird things lend themselves to, again, additional scenarios, additional playthroughs, different paths that the Tiqqun took through a different set of systems in a different alternative timeline, so on and so forth. I'm not sure. I'm just speculating here, just wondering out loud, because I've had so much fun with this game. It's got such a great set of core mechanics and systems that I just think it would be a shame for us not to get more in this same world. That's just one man's opinion, obviously. I'd be very curious to hear your thoughts and opinions too. But yeah, I've had an absolute blast. I think the mechanics are great. I think the game was maybe a little bit easier than anticipated. I was expecting to be a lot more challenged, and even though there were quite a few scary moments, overall, it all kind of worked quite nicely, at least for me personally. Apart from that, though, I love the storytelling. Ever since that first reveal trailer where we saw the moon get exploded, I've been hooked on this game, and the writing, the event chains, and everything have just built that up further and further, right up until the twists at the end. Like, it's just such a fantastic game, and I've had such a blast, not just through the game itself, but also in reading all of your comments through the last, 35 or so episodes. It's been fantastic just to see all the theories, all the concerns, all the fears, and all the hope in the comments. So I just wanted to thank you all for that as we arrive at, again, what I think is the final episode. A little presumptuous perhaps, but again, The Last Stand, The Promised Land, this is probably it, folks. Now, to that end, I just want to mention, if you've been enjoying this series, please don't hesitate to leave a like and a comment down below. And folks, if you really enjoyed this series, you might want to consider becoming a channel member or patron. Links to both of those are in the description down below, or you can click the join button just underneath the video to become a member specifically. But if that's not your cup of tea, you could instead consider leaving a super thanks for the series, which you can do by clicking the little heart-shaped button next to the join button just below the video. Again, and as always, folks, no obligation, no pressure, don't feel like you have to. It's just an extra way of showing support that I've been told I should mention more often because I tend not to otherwise, and I actually forgot to mention them last episode, where it was episode 35, because I was so, consumed by everything that was happening, and for good reason. On which note, let's tackle what's happening over here, folks. The Piranesi is inching ever closer, I think, to Romulus. But there was a very interesting comment in last episode's comment sections that suggested otherwise, alongside a potential strategy, I suppose we could call it. I'll get to that in just a moment. The first thing I want to do, before I forget, is take care of our hull integrity situation. I think the reason why we're seeing this negative 170 balance per cycle is probably because Sector 3's EVA airlocks are currently, yes, not all getting alloys, which seems to be the case. Okay, let's take a look at resource management. I want to make sure we do this before we start moving time forward, because negative 170 per cycle is extremely fast. And if I'm not paying attention, this could go horribly wrong. So I want to tackle this before literally anything else, as we take a look at Sector 3, trying to get 50 alloys, currently at 0. I assume Sector 4 is, yes, just hogging them. Let's take a look at Sector 1. Interesting. Sector 5. Okay, so what's probably happening over here is Sector 2 is producing these alloys and sending them to 1, 4, 5, 3, probably in some kind of a pattern, and the time it takes to get back to Sector 3 is enough such that Sector 3 has actually run out. So in order to tackle that with some consistency, I'm going to say Sector 4 is no longer targeting 840, let's instead target 600. That leaves us a surplus of about 120, which will hopefully be largely pushed to Sector 3. And Sector 3, let's go ahead and make sure you are trying to hold on to 120 to max you out, just to make sure that we are constantly repairing the hull. We cannot afford to miss something here as we're being hunted by the Piranesi. That would be, well, that would be the end game, but not in the way that I want to get there, obviously. So let's make sure this movement of resources is happening correctly. Sector 3 should be prioritized by Sector 4, and we should hopefully soon see this negative become a positive. But of course, we have to wait for those resources to actually arrive at the stockpile and then at the EVA airlocks too. This one still has some to work with, but pretty soon... Oh, you know what? Actually, it doesn't have enough to work with. So this negative 170 isn't going to get any lower unless something, you know, there's an accident or something catches fire or whatever it might be. All right, so that's been tackled, at least as far as we can tell for the time being. Let's also take a look at our tech tree really quickly. It's been suggested in a separate comment from the previous episode that this question mark over here might have to do with bioengineering ourselves to be like the Ashtonites. And you might be right. That makes sense. I'm going to play cautiously still. Though with 500 science points, I think we've got a bit of leeway. I doubt one thing could cost 500 science, so I think we have a bit more wiggle room. Whether this is that bioengineering thing or something else, but that's a good theory. I think it could be what would have turned us into the Ashtonites. I also saw there was some interesting back and forth with regards to what it would in fact mean to become one of the Ashtonites. And again, folks, those conversations and stuff spark such joy. I love reading other people's thoughts, opinions, theories. It's fun stuff. It's fun stuff. I absolutely love it. I'm wondering if there's anything to actually invest our science in. We could have our probes moving faster. Not that we're making any right now. No upgrades over here relate to our countermeasures. I just don't know. I just can't see anything worth investing in. I mean, we never even put down cell housing. I know there was a period where many of us were convinced that I would have to produce cell housing, but it seems that we've done just fine using only demotic quarters. Nobody had to be crammed into these, well, prison cells, I guess, to live in and to keep us operational. Everything's been great. I guess we could build up the hull temple, or hang on, our batteries are fully upgraded, because that's something that's a bit of a priority right now. A workshop could, I suppose, you know what, here, build buildings a bit faster. That way our batteries will get built faster, and that way we'll be able to, you know, accomplish our last stand a little bit faster. To which end, as many of you sort of agreed with one of my approaches and theorized, we should unlock Sector 6. I think the time has come. We'll pop this door open, and we'll make Sector 6 the battery bomb. I think that makes sense. 1,000 tiles is a lot of tiles, and it's been pointed out that these guys probably need to be fully charged for them to count as consumed tiles. So this battery has a bit more work to do, but it's not like this guy is, you know, 600 tiles big. So we're going to need a lot of room, and we're going to need a lot of time as well to charge those batteries up, to which end we might want to activate the nuclear power plants to help charge those batteries. So let's turn talk into action over here. Let's activate Sector 6 and make sure it gets the train station as well, so that we're not getting too laissez-faire with regards to things like injuries and stability and all that kind of stuff, right? Let's stay on top of things. Let's keep people happy. So override the locks over here. Yes, please, and thank you. And let's make sure that working conditions over here are still okay. We have 130 workers required in this sector, 303 currently available. If 40 go away, we'll still be at 270, and 270 minus 130 is about 140. These guys need 40 workers apiece, so we should be able to turn the nuclear power plants on without needing to worry about additional workers. So that'll be all good. It'll take some time for this thing to actually open up. That sounds good to me. Yeah, okay, cool. All right, I'm glad we're actually getting... I'm torn. I like that we're getting Sector 6, but I was also wondering if we could get the entire series done with less than all of our sectors open, and I believe we could. It would just be tedious, because we dismantle, you know, like all the buildings that we don't need as many of, we dismantle them and replace them with batteries, but it would be tedious making sure we have room for all those alloys and stuff that come from the dismantling, making sure that we are... making space in the right places, and who wants tedium, especially this close to the end. Back to the system map, though, to discuss that one theory, that one strategy, that one idea. So, it was pointed out that it's very possible that the Piranesi is actually heading towards Remus. And the reason for that theory, or the source of that theory, I suppose, is that the Ashtongites were talking about how we're defenseless, you've brought the Piranesi with you, etc., etc. It sort of implied that they're under threat. And it's very possible that the Piranesi is actually heading towards Remus. Maybe I'm not remembering correctly where exactly it started. Like, if it started over here, right, then it is, if we draw a straight line and extrapolate, it does look like it's heading towards Remus. But the anxious, concerned individual within me, the administrator, who has to take care of, over 5,300 people, he's concerned that the Piranesi actually started down over here, and if we extrapolate that line, it's moving up towards Romulus. So I want to play this safely. But it was suggested that we could just let the Piranesi take Remus. If that is in fact where it's going, we could just let the Piranesi eliminate the Ashtongites and eliminate the potential threat they present to humanity. And I thought that was a very interesting thought. So I wanted to mention it, even though I'm a little wary about going down that line. I thought it was such an interesting idea. I think in another lifetime, if this wasn't a recorded playthrough, I might experiment with that, where I could, save scum back and stuff like that. So I don't like the word save scum. It's an experiment, right? Scum makes it has a negative connotation when you're just running an experiment for personal satisfaction. But nonetheless, that aside, semantics aside, I thought that was a very interesting idea, and it's so tempting. It's also extremely dark. I think that the Ashtongites are very unlikely to present a threat. They seem to be pacifists. They don't seem to be very capable of defending themselves. If anything, if we want to get really dark, they could be a potential resource for the future of humanity. Nonetheless, I don't feel extremely comfortable in taking that chance, because if the Piranesi is heading directly towards Romulus, I don't want to leave the last stand until the last minute. And beyond that as well, I don't see the administrator as being, who is me, I guess. I don't see myself as being vindictive in that way. Do we blame the Ashtongites for who they are and how things have ended up for them? Not necessarily. Do they deserve to die? Can I be responsible for genocide? When I put it like that, I don't think this administrator is the type, based on all the decisions we've made throughout this playthrough. So with that said, and with that addressed, because I thought it was a fascinating comment, which, like I said, in another lifetime, in another playthrough, if I was just playing this without it being a series, I would perhaps experiment with that just to see how it plays out. But for the time being, let's have time move forward and try and secure Romulus as our home, while also protecting the Ashtongites on Remus. If the Piranesi is in fact headed there, I don't mind saving them as well. Hey, maybe they'll be beholden to us. Maybe it'll be good for us to have a relationship with another planet. Maybe they'll have resources that we'll need to sustain life on Romulus. I don't think they'll be spiteful of us. I hope not. And if they prove to be problematic, I feel as though we have the technological superiority, at least as far as military technology is concerned. So I think we'll be okay. Separately, though, we have situations up at Lupercal and Numitor. There were some thoughts with regards to what we should do for these guys. Honestly, as hull integrity is in the positive once more, Lupercal in particular has me very worried, while at the same time, how much have I been lied to by Eden, And are these still, like, the lies of protocol? I mean, Eden is obviously disconnected right now, but where is our protocol from? What is the purpose of our protocol? Is it to keep us blind? Is it to keep us bound to the whims of the CEO? We might lose some lives over here, and that would make me a little sad, but let us try and achieve the final outcome of the Lupercal analysis. The Galileo team is about to get some answers. I don't think I'll like those answers, and it might cost us some lives, but it's a risk I think I'm willing to take. Some of you might die, but that's a cost I'm willing to pay, I suppose. Achieve the final outcome of the Lupercal analysis for science, of course, for science. And over at Numitor, what do we have over here? Everyone's alive. at least on Numitor. After several surveys, the team of the Sensitive discovered the existence of a second, much smaller and denser core of Numitor. Self-similar space particles were also detected, and the team proposes that there is a correlation between the presence of these particles and the core's strong geothermal activity. Sounds good. Extract away. End DLP there. And before we leave the planet, let's collect that science in case on our way out we get destroyed. That's happened before, if memory serves me correctly. We were leaving an event, and the ship that was departing got destroyed. Did it, or is that a figment of my imagination? It's something I believe the game would do, and maybe I've just installed that into my mind as a viable possibility. So let's let that get done. Let's get this done, and back in the interior. Why do I go to the exterior view every time I say interior? Let's check on our gateway over here. Looks like it's... Oh, wow, perfect timing. Okay, let's get things paused for a moment, because I just want to lay these roads out, and I want to make sure we are clearing all the space out over here, because we'll need it, obviously, for the for the batteries. Let's go ahead and get you like so. Okay. I'm just trying to figure out where we'll place our workshops and all that stuff as well. Let's get you like so. How are we feeling? Like this, maybe? Over like this. Oh yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Get you hooked up like that. And we can get a road up like this. We'll probably hook it up over here afterwards and get that continuing upwards to there. And get you hooked up like this. That should allow us to clear this entire sector up. And we'll want to build a train station as well, right? So let's get that going right away. Again, we want to make sure everyone's well taken care of, obviously. And let's go ahead and do what? Let's go ahead and build... or rather place, I should say, the workshop. Want to like maximize our use of space here, right? So, workshop goes there. Small stockpile. We'll need 2 small stockpiles, right? Trying to figure out if we get a road moving up like this, we could get a stockpile like so. Another stockpile. Not so much like so. But I wonder if, because we have the mess hall that we can build as well. If I get rid of the road over here, if I get this stockpile, will the mess hall fit up there? No, it won't. I gotta do me like this game. Let's put this stockpile over here, and let's get the mess hall down over here, because it won't fit up over here. Though I could put it like that. Sure, okay, here, let's do this. Let's go ahead and get rid of... This is a very utilitarian sector. This is a very utilitarian sector. I'm not looking for sightseeing over here. Let's get you hooked up. Cool. And let's get our mess hall built like so. Get the road connection. And hopefully everything else will just be batteries. Large batteries, small batteries, whatever batteries. We don't need batteries for power. We need batteries for space. So however we fill this entire thing up, it'll do the trick. I'm almost tempted to make small batteries, just because small batteries, tier 1 batteries, only require alloys, whereas the larger batteries, medium and large, tier 2 and tier 3, I should say, they require alloys as well as electronics, and I just don't know if we'll be able to keep up with production. I suppose what I could do is get these guys working on electronics instead. Just don't know if I should really take their attention away from alloys, though truth be told, we have plenty of iron, so we'll probably be alright. Let's get... Oh, are we really low on carbon? No. What's going on here? Hang on a second. Let's make sure Sector 4 isn't hogging all the carbon. Get you down to 600. Sector 3. Sector 2, sorry, rather. You're chasing after 40. That should do the trick, and we'll get polymers being produced. That I'm glad I noticed that. Yikes, we have an event here as well. We'll check in a moment. And this battery has been paused. Let's actually dismantle this building. We don't... Look, I mean, it'll add, what, like 9 tiles out of 1,000? It's irrelevant. That's fine. We'll get rid of this one. We don't need it. But why else was I coming here? For you. Get you working on electronics. I don't think we need polymer as urgently right now, so we should be okay. And Sector 6 will, yes, also, of course, need housing and the train station to take care of the medical situation. They're currently happy, plus 10 from opening a new sector, so they'll be okay for the time being. And otherwise, I want to take a look at this event up over here in Sector 2. What's going on at this stockpile? Administrator, all sectors of the Tiqqun have been unlocked. The crew feels motivated, knowing that the station is now fully operational. Oh, okay, fair enough. I didn't... Sure, acknowledged. Sounds good to me. Plus 10% trust bonus. Not that we need it. Our trust has been great throughout this entire playthrough. It's been phenomenal. It's been fantastic. So that's all well and good. Just want to check the system map real quick to make sure we are making progress on Romulus. No one has died in transit or anything like that. And the Syndicate site is currently being built. Okay, excellent. Let's keep our eyes on the prize, and let's see progress over here as we look to build all these roads, collect all the resources, etc., etc. High quality lubricants have been unlocked. That should make construction a bit faster. And let's just take a look at the workshop. I guess we've already got everything done here. Cool. Anything else? The science ship could maybe move a bit faster. Not that they're... sure, you know what? Let's research it in case we have to do something with them in a sort of a last-ditch rescue attempt or something. I don't know if it'll be relevant anymore, but we have an excess of science points, so we may as well research that. And looks like we're picking stuff up, or looks like we're building this road first. Pulling back now. Oh, little lag spike there. I was like, what happened there? Just a couple people got injured. Why must you build this one first? I wish you could prioritize roads. Like, get to the mess hall first, buddy. Come on. And, what's the deal here? Why can I not... Oh, not connected to an active stockpile. There we go. Because this road needed to be built. We're almost done. There's food enough there for the entire population here. Come on. There we go. Oh. No, you're still not active. This does need to be built. So hopefully they won't take too long to actually get that done. And then I'll give the order to, yes, start clearing the spaces out. This is for electronics. No surprise there. No surprise there. You're going to try and get in my way, aren't you, game? We will need a stockpile for electronics anyway if we're planning on building those larger batteries here, right? But let's try and empty these guys out real quick. And then at the same time, let's go ahead and try to figure out, get rid of this road over here so we can build a small stockpile over here like so. That'll contain electronics. Got to make sure it's connected to the road, of course. And then we'll see how we can lay out all of our batteries. The Syndicate site has been built. Let's go ahead and take a look at the situation there, as well as Lupercal and Numitor. Let's start with Lupercal. I'm a little concerned. Actually, no. Let's start with Romulus, because this is fairly straightforward. The situation on Romulus, fairly straightforward. Lupercal is where there's a bit of mystery. So let's take a look at Romulus first, and the construction of the Ashtonite site. What? What's this? Transmission from the team of the Fermi. The Syndicate site is finished. Agricultural systems are operational, the infirmary is ready and stocked, and research labs have been set up with all the necessary equipment. We have completed more than half of the work required to successfully colonize Romulus. Only just more than half? Okay, that actually makes me nervous. And the DLP there, construct the Ashtonite site. Why would we want to build an Ashtonite site? Like, what's the purpose there? Either way, let's go ahead and assign Santa's sleigh to the task, get the job done as quickly as possible, and let's go ahead and investigate Lupercal here as well. No surprise there, eh? No surprise there. We're no longer receiving transmissions from the Galileo's team. Behavioral analysis of their final communication has identified signs of unhealthy fascination and self-destructive tendencies. Before enacting what they refer to as the descent to other gods, the team transmitted a final packet of study data. You know, truth be told, and I didn't want to say this earlier, but truth be told, I feel a little bit more comfortable knowing that these mysterious individuals are no longer there to haunt us. Where did the Galileo go? Where did these guys come from? Where did they go in the first place? Like, look, there were way too many mysteries and concerns and questions around these 5 individuals, and I guess, in a way, this isn't the worst thing that could have happened. And hey, look at that. We actually got some decent science over here as well. Not that we need it, but we have it on hand. So maybe I should just research everything at this point in time. It's a bit of a shame. I'm not happy about this, but if I were to justify it, I could. Let's put it that way. End the DLP there, and let's repatriate the Galileo. Repatriate? Patriate? The farewell message received from the team of the Galileo allows us to legally classify them as lost and immediately repatriate all Dalos assets and equipment. Bring the ship back. It might need to be studied as well, separately. Oh, Jesus. Why you have to make this so dark? I thought they were all dead. You can't do this to me, game. End the DLP there. Bit of a shame, but It is what it is. It is what it is. I took a risk there, knowingly. We're okay. Still over 5,000 of us arriving at Romulus. I would say we've done fairly well. I'd say we've done fairly well as far as our journey to our new home. What's the situation over here? Are we bringing resources over? Can we move a little bit more quickly? I'm a little concerned about the rate at which things are getting done over here. Where is... And to slay. We're bringing alloys over. What do we need? Alloys, electronics, food, and colonists. My goodness, that is going to take some time because it's multiple round trips and having to load up that docking bay as well. It's not going to be fast, though fortunately there isn't anything slowing us down at the docking bay itself. It's not like it's carrying a lot. So we can move, we can speed time up for sure, as we should probably also consider bringing more food into Sector 6. How much food do we actually need here? 2 food is required. We have 14. Oh, okay. So food is going to be fine. Housing obviously is a bit of an issue, so let's go ahead and build a unit of demotic quarters down over here like so. Sure. Get you built. That'll be enough housing for everybody, and then it's just batteries. Because again, batteries don't actually require any workers, so we'll be fine. Is the train station done? Yep, looks like it is active. Excellent. What is this? I've wondered quite a few times. I'm not sure what that is, but train station is active. Health is taken care of, though again, this warning will stay up. I think it's just a visual bug the game has. Sector 5 is having food issues. Are you actually, or are you lying to me? 119 food is required to feed everybody. We actually have 2 mess halls here. I remember doing that, but I think last session I forgot that we had 2 here. Nonetheless, this building is being built. Excellent. Let's go ahead and clear up more space, shall we? Go ahead and join this over here. Move you up to there as well. Connect you and connect you. Oh, and we need to connect you and you and you. Cool. This will just allow me to clean everything up, and then we can, in one fell swoop, put down all the batteries. 1,000. I'm just not sure. What are we looking at here? Maintenance, tier 3 battery, 7x7. That's 49 tiles. So I need about 10, 11, right? This 10 would take us to 490. And then you add another 49, we're definitely over 1,000. So we need 11 tier 3 batteries. That's 33 electronics and what, 660 alloys? Okay, so we should be fine to build 11 tier 3 batteries. We just got to make sure we have the room for it, which I'm fairly confident we do. Back out in the system map, though, let's take a look at Numitor. And leave the planet. Looks like we're good. Let's send the sensitive up to Lupercal to pick up all that science, because we can. And let's head on to the tech tree, I suppose, to just start researching some stuff. Let's get the fire station with pneumatic steering. Let's get the waste treatment center producing alloys a bit more quickly, I suppose. Just kind of doing at this point in time. This thing's finally being built, so the homelessness situation will be taken care of, and we are able to collect more of these resources as well. Are you really not connected? God damn it. How did I cack that up? There we go. Just got to build one more tile of road there. Then we can start actually demolishing some of these roads that would otherwise get in the way. Again, the issue, so to speak, over here is going to be making sure that road placement and stuff is all correct to optimize the placement of these batteries. But we just got to get 11 down. That shouldn't be too difficult. That should be too difficult. Speed time up a little bit. Job done. Hull integrity is not looking great, but that's okay. You know what? I'm not too concerned because, again, hang on a second. Why do we have extra hours in Sector 3? Well, this is not good. We should turn something off over here. Maybe one of these infirmaries can be turned off. Let's go ahead and flip the switch here. Get you back to optimal working conditions. And we'll need to move some workers around if we want to turn this thing back on. But I'm glad I noticed that, and that will help our hull integrity. What happened there? Because it's not like these guys got moved into the new sector. Oh, you know, was it because of the science ship that had crew that we just lost? Yes, that might be it. The new science ship, or rather, the Galileo now has 5 new crew, and maybe they were taken from Sector 3? You know what? I'm not going to try and figure it out. It's irrelevant. I just know that it happened, and we've solved it, at least for the time being. Hull integrity is looking good once more, and even if it were to drop, what I was saying originally is that our EVA airlocks would become more efficient as we as hull integrity drops, so ultimately I'm sure we'd be fine. Though, again, the plus 20 from optimal working conditions is doing the job right now. This building is almost done. Are we almost done clearing things out? Nope, still a bit more to go. Up over here, though, we have a bit of room. Let's do this. Get rid of you, and start planning, I guess. Like, how many of you can I fit here? Would we be able to fit? You're how big? You're 5 by 5. That is not. That's 4, unfortunately. You're 3 by 3. So I'm just wondering here, if we go, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and gotta get rid of that. 4, 6, and then we go, yeah, straight down over here. We would have 12, which would be overkill. And these guys would take a long time to charge as well, though. Heads up. Let's go ahead and build a road connection down over here, just so we can keep clearing all these guys out. And let's go ahead and get rid of the road down the middle over here, because we don't need this anymore once this has been built at the bottom there. So get rid of you, get rid of you, get rid of you, and you. Let's make sure there's a road connection up over here all the way across. And let's build 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm doing my math right? I'm doing my math right? Let's go ahead and keep this one paused just so we're not distracted by more than what we need. But if they are 7 by 7, that means they're 49 tiles. 49 times 10 is 490, right? Which would basically double what we have, keep us short of our 1,000 target. And then we add a number 11, an additional 49 tiles, and that should take us over our limit. But prepare colonists, what does that mean? Do I need to continue making more non-workers into colonists? Probably not a bad idea to do that. So Sector 5 has 415 non-workers. So here's what we're going to do. Let's get population management, 415 from Sector, well, sorry, only non-workers. Got to make sure I have the right people going. From Sector 5 to Sector 3, where they become colonists, right? And we have 600 colonists in Sector 3. Okay, so 415. Let's go ahead and move you over. And only colonists from Sector 3 to Sector 5. We get all 600, I suppose, and then we'll make some more housing. We'll figure that out. 600 from Sector 3 to Sector 5. Yep, start the migration. And then do we have any other non-workers anywhere else? Sector 1 has 248. Sector 2 has 158. So let's get 158 non-workers from Sector 2 to Sector 3. Start that migration. Get them converted as well. And then we'll revisit Sector 1 afterwards, or do we just send them in right now? Let's send them in right now. So 248. Sector 3, how much room are you going to have? You know what? We don't have the room. So let's get some colonists made first, and then we'll go ahead and take a look at Sector 1 afterwards. It's the only place that still has non-workers. Cool. We have time, right? It'll take some time to build these batteries and everything, so we have time, but let's not waste any, so to speak. Let's go double time and get to work over here. So this one's being built first. That's fine by me, as long as there's some progress somewhere at any given time. And I'm almost tempted, to actually build an additional workshop over here, though I realize I should make sure Sector 6 is receiving alloys and electronics maxed out. Sector 4, let's aim for 200 of these and 2 of these. That sounds good. Electronics, let's prioritize Sector 6 here, shall we? Just to make sure that all these batteries can in fact be built. Doesn't make sense having those electronics sitting, I mean, literally anywhere else. Alright, looking okay. Speed time up. Let's get to work. I really hope I've done my math right, because that could be painful if I didn't. Sector 5 has too many people. Looks like that's being taken care of, though, as people continue to move back and forth. Excellent. Food, I'm sure, will be okay as well in just a matter of time. And what do we got going on over here? Delivering alloys. This one's being built. Good stuff, good stuff. Let's pick these alloys up as well. Not that we need to, though, truth be told. Not that we need to. And as far as tech is concerned, let's invest in Nihei Crops Protocol. Sure, sounds good. Get some more waste flowing. And let's go ahead and let's Sure, queue you up. Upgraded interface to see how close we are to tier 2 for various various sectors. Good progress over here. Keep working on this. Again, we do have to, I think... doesn't look like we have to charge them, actually. This one got built and immediately counted towards this objective, so that's good. Now let's take a look at the system map real quick to investigate Romulus. Oh. That's all we had to do. Just get the Ashtongite site ready. So, what's happening on Romulus now? Transmission from the Fermi's team. Construction of the Ashtongite site has been completed. A multi-factory will allow us to transform the raw materials of Romulus into usable resources. The vehicle storage bay and technical maintenance rooms are operational. The first human city on Romulus has just been born. That's quite momentous. And I guess the Ashtongite site is about more than just these physiologically modified, bioengineered individuals. This is the industrial sector, I suppose. But very well, the first human city on Romulus has just been born. End the data listening protocol. Let us leave Romulus, and I suppose it's time to repatriate all of these ships. Let's get the Fermi back to the Tiqqun. And the Piranesi. Still not convinced. It looks like it's floating right past Remus. Like, it does. It looks like it's coming towards Romulus and ignoring Remus. Which is fine, because we're preparing for that. We're preparing for that. Back to the interior. Take a look at our battery bomb over here. Yeah, chipping away, chipping away. Do we have enough alloys? No, we got to get more delivered over here. There's plenty in the station itself, but actually getting it delivered is what's taking some time. And as soon as it comes through, yeah, look at the progress. Look at the rate of progress. Again, we could perhaps place a drone bay over here to bring resources a bit more quickly, but it seems unnecessary. And as you can see, the number over here is growing without the need for these guys to be, like, fully charged, even remotely fully charged. So that's looking good. Now, we are looking at what as far as stability here. 13, but once that plus 10 goes away, we'll still be at plus 3, so that's good to see. And let's take a look at the DLS center now, because it'll tell us how close we are to the next tier. That doesn't really give us all that much information. But what else do I need to do to actually get there? It doesn't say. What was this again? Population, so build more houses, presumably? Okay, so these nuclear power plants, though, are entirely useless, I suppose. We never needed to turn them on. Our solar panels have done the job. We've upgraded them nicely. We've managed to keep everyone living in demotic quarters. Nobody ever had to live in prison cell style housing, so that's all well and good. We've done pretty well. We've done pretty well. Sector 5, what's the deal over here? Why are you still starving? We need 129 food. Yeah, they're fine. Of course, as I go to check is when everything gets figured out. Good progress over here, 740. Yeah, keep at it, keep at it. Oh, you know what? Okay. Here, I'm going to go ahead and turn these nuclear power plants on. It's not like that's an objective to not turn these on ever. Let's go ahead and turn you on. Let's go ahead and turn you on. Let's consume some of that hydrogen. And I could also maximize output over here, which sounds like a good idea. And the reason why I'm doing this is because it occurs to me that the last stand, after all these batteries have been built, it might just add a new objective being like, now charge those batteries. So I'm going to try and get ahead of the game, literally, to make sure that I'm not suffering from that situation. Overall, though, we're making good progress. Yeah, and look at that. I mean, I can't tell if they're charging so much more quickly because of the game speed I was playing at, or because of the power plants. And you know what? It looks like the power plants. So surplus does, in fact, work that way. These guys are charging so much faster than the tier 3 batteries that we built however many sessions ago. You know what's wild is, like, I thought this entire sector was just going to be batteries, wall-to-wall batteries. But if I want to do that, it's entirely of my own volition. We don't actually need to do that. Alright, it is what it is. Speed time up over here. Get the task completed. And if we take a look at the Piranesi... Oh, you know what? Yeah, I'm still not sure. It looked a bit more like it was headed towards Remus. And in fact, if I look at it now... You know what? It's not my concern. It's not my concern. I want to eliminate the Piranesi before it affects any of us. I'm a good guy. Or so I tell myself, I suppose. Back to the interior. Yeah, looking good. 887. Not much longer now. And these guys are getting... Oh, look at that. Topped up so quickly. Yeah, I'm glad we turned those power plants on. We didn't need to. I I think we have enough time, and I'm also guessing about what comes over here in terms of the next objective. Pure, like, assumption here, pure guesswork. But like I said, I want to get ahead of the game. I don't want it to come as a surprise and then find out that we actually didn't have enough time. So, it doesn't hurt to stay on top of things. Do we not have electronics over here? Oh yeah, we got plenty of electronics. This thing can get built. Oh, it's paused. Sure, resume. Why not? Why not? We got alloys coming through as well. Yeah, looking good. Looking good. We're finally seeing resources be away from their caps, which is nice, actually. As long as we work quickly enough, we don't actually have to worry about any of them, including iron and alloys. Feels good. 936, okay. And this, oh, actually, maybe I have done my math wrong then. Because once this is built, we should be at our requirement. What's 495 plus 490? Oh my goodness, I did do my math wrong. It's okay, I was erring on the side of playing it safe. Or, nope, I did my math right. And I'm a fool who's second-guessing himself. This is what happens under a high-pressure situation. Just making excuses. I was fairly confident in my numbers there, but then I got a little thrown off by this being under construction and our numbers being so close, but could be the it didn't update, or maybe I misread it. Could be anything. Could be anything. I'm glad, though, that I did in fact do my math correctly when we were first deciding which batteries to build and where and in what quantity, because it looks like we're secure. Really, you're going to prioritize this one, even though this one had been paused for so long? It's fine. Get them both built. These drones are so cool. Get them both built. It'll be fine by me. Because, yeah, it looks like when it's under construction, it doesn't actually register up over here. So how come when... whatever, it's fine. Get her done, and... I goddamn knew it. Did I call it, or did I call it? I goddamn knew it! Okay, I'm glad I stayed ahead of things. Wow. Wow. That's funny. That is funny. That's funny. And you know what? Okay, at this point in time, I'm convinced the Piranesi is actually heading towards Remus. But again, like I said, I'm supposedly a good guy, so I'm not going to let them get wiped out either. Maybe they'll be beholden to me. Good first diplomatic maneuver is saving people's lives. So this is a good diplomatic overture for sure. Is down over here. These batteries are getting charged, 96%. So hang on, if I actually didn't build this one, I would have been further along. Because like we were at 97 and it came down to 96 when the additional battery was built. It's fine, because there's our 100% mark in just a moment's time, I believe. Let's go, let's go, let's go. We're almost there. Wow, this sector can last over 500 cycles on batteries alone. And I suppose at this point in time, we don't need more colonists, is the thing. Because we don't need to colonize Romulus. It has been colonized. Now it's just a planet we need to land on. And it's time to fly the Tiqqun into the Piranesi via the planetary system map. Now, before we give that command, is there anything else I want to do? I'm fairly pleased with everything. I'm satisfied with what we've done. I could go for like an additional layer of symbolic victory, I suppose. I'm like, do I just like build all the monuments just so we can explode the monuments at the same time as the Piranesi, as sort of an insult to the Marduk Council? Because how big are these guys? I don't think I'm actually going to do it, but it is fun to think about stability. But we have the resources we need. The sensitive has gained more experience. Good for them. We have all the resources we need. We got space here. We don't have space elsewhere unless I want to go through with the tedium of dismantling. Which, for the purpose of insulting the Marduk Council, does sound... You know what? No. We're not petty. We're not petty. We're not vindictive. We're upset, but we are none of those things. I just want to wake these 20 cryonic pods up, and then we're going to pull the trigger on the Piranesi. I'm not going to leave these cryonic pods to die. That would be troubling. And man, food has been fine. Look at that. We're at 120% average production compared to meal requirements. And we've been, 100% plus for, I want to say 20 hours now. Food has been great. Sector 1 has worked out magnificently. 2 crop farms, 6 mushroom walls, and all the tech upgrades that relate to faster food production. That's all we needed, and we've been fine. Unless I missed like 10,000 cryonic pods somewhere, which I guess is possible. But unless that happened, food's been a-okay. And do we have any non-workers in Sector 3 still? We do. But again, like I said, we don't actually need to train additional colonists. It was just a matter of building the Ashtonite site to change Romulus from being a mere colony where people with specialization and specialist training are the only ones who'd make it, to it being just a city. You don't need to be a colonist to go from Toronto to New York, or from New York to... I don't know. As I'm going through this sentence, I'm thinking about like the history of colonization. It's like you don't need to be a colonist to go from London to New York, and I guess in a way, kind of did. But anyway, that's a whole other topic of conversation that I'm not about to dive into. We don't need to train colonists anymore. I guess it's kind of cool to turn this thing off as a result. Make a statement. Waiting for these cryonic pods to wake up. Busying myself with whatever I can busy myself with. Though, I mean, look, this is great. We basically didn't mine this system out either, which is, in a way cool. It means that there's a lot more resources out here for the future of humanity, apart from the resources on Romulus itself as well. So that's cool. We've collected all the science there is to collect. We're close to 1,000, literally one shy. Almost makes me believe that maybe we are at 1,000 and just the numbers don't go that high up over here. Nah, they must, because for all the other resources they do. Wow, how did that work out so perfectly? Nonetheless, just waiting for 5 more cryonic pods. Finalizing is getting awfully close to Remus, and now I'm more than 100% convinced it's headed towards Remus. These angles don't lie. But yeah, we will protect them. We will protect them. Just 3 more cryonic pods to go, and then we'll have to rush, because we actually have to close this gap. You know what? We could probably wake those cryonic pods. No, let's go for it. Let's just wait. Because in theory, what's happening is everyone is leaving on those, 20 or so odd shuttles that we built, and then we're punching in these coordinates to have the Protagoras dive into the Finalizing, saving our own life as well. Let's go for it. Are all these ships going to be lost as well? Not if I have something to say about it. Keep these guys out there. Keep them safe. Oh, you guys are up there by Lupercal. Alright, just wanted to make sure that the game didn't try anything funky and get these guys killed. Alright, Tiqqun. It's time to go.
Administrator, if you are listening to this message, it means the Tiqqun has reached its destination, despite the unpredictable parameters that framed the equation of its journey. The crew have found a new home, whether the one planned for or another. These survivors have already begun to lay the foundations of a new cradle, where creativity, invention, and joy can bloom again. Perhaps you already understand why I insisted, why the mission launch was precipitated. When I discovered that the lunicalism was inevitable, I also understood that any attempt to save our species after this would have been doomed to fail. You took the helm in the only launch window available to us. Thanks to you, our efforts, our mistakes, our sins and sacrifices will sink into oblivion, into the past, while the first pages are written for a newly born humanity.
Wow. Wow, that was... That was really nicely written. To the end, this game has been beautifully written. How hopeful an ending. How positive. A little revisionist as well, perhaps, but damn, that was nice. It was great to see our good friend, the dog that we rescued, in one of those images at the end there. And I'm curious as well how the writing and the visuals both, I suppose, would have been different had we made some different decisions. If I was the one flying the Tiqqun, would I be saying those final words? What would I be saying? It also adds more questions. The lunaclism was inevitable. How did he know? Inevitable because of what we were going to do? Inevitable because of what we had already done in a future or alternative timeline? Or was he able to look back from the future? What happened? How did he know the lunaclism was inevitable? There's a lot to think upon. What a magnificent game. Wow. My only regret is that I can't wipe my memory and experience the whole thing all over again with completely fresh eyes. So many twists and turns, so many unexpected events, so many strange questions left unanswered, and you know what? I like that. I love that. Like is too soft a word. I love being able to walk away from a narrative experience and wonder and question and guess. You know, like, for example, maybe some of you will relate, maybe some of you will think, what the hell is he talking about? But with Inception, which if you haven't watched, you should absolutely watch. So I'll try and keep this spoiler free in case you missed it when it released or something. But Inception's ending leaves you like that, wondering, questioning. And the directors ultimately came out, not just the director, but the team, I should say, came out and answered what the ending meant. And I refuse that answer. I like wondering, theorizing. Same thing with like Mass Effect 3. The indoctrination theory, I think it was called. Such a fascinating theory. Better ending than what we actually got in Mass Effect 3. I love when a game, or just again a narrative experience in general, doesn't have to be a game. It can be a storybook. It can be a movie, a TV show, whatever it is. I love when it leaves things open for conversation, for discussion, for thought. What a fantastic game, folks! I hope you enjoyed this playthrough of IXION. I have to walk away and mull over it a little bit, and I'm looking forward to the conversation in the comments and in the Discord as well. If you aren't already in the Discord, link is in the description down below. Great place to hang out with some fantastic folks. I haven't been super active there for the last little while, but that's about to change. Life has been a little strange since October of last year. I'll explain all that in a community post on the channel shortly. But now I'm looking forward to just hearing what people think or have to say. I'm definitely going to go to the subreddit and explore other people's opinions on the game and the ending and stuff. I love this kind of stuff. My goodness, folks. As I was saying, though, I hope you enjoyed this series. If you did, you know what to do. Let me know by leaving a like and a comment down below. Would love to hear your thoughts about the game, about the playthrough, about my approach, whatever it might be. Always interested in acquiring feedback and making sure future playthroughs are, better. And I got to think about what replaces IXION now, as far as a new game or an alternative game, I should say, on the channel to continue an additional playthrough. We, of course, have our Warhammer 40k Rogue Trader playthrough that's happening as well. That's been an absolute blast, too. Looking forward to recording the next session of that as soon as I, finish percolating about the events of this episode here today. But, again, as I mentioned at the beginning of this episode, folks, if you really enjoyed this series, feel free to become a channel member or patron. Is a great way to support these long-running series. And again, if you'd rather not do that, you might want to consider a super thanks instead. If you'd like to support, basically 36 or so hour-long playthrough that has brought me at least tremendous joy, and I hope it's done the same for you. With that said, as always, a massive thanks goes out to all of the channel members and patrons who've been supporting the channel on a monthly basis. Y'all keep us alive and running smoothly, and of course, a big old thanks goes out to each and every one of you for watching. On that note, goodbye.